Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Brother Joe, and I want to spend a little bit of time again. In my last video, I talked about some internal boundaries that we need to set for ourselves as we pursue righteousness, and today I want to talk about some social boundaries. Now, this is an issue I think we need to talk about, and I'm not saying that I have all of the answers to it, and what I'm about to drop on you is the end all of wisdom about it. But I do think it's a discussion we need to be having, and I would encourage you to share it with friends. Click that like button so that people will see it, so that you can have those discussions to help us as a people follow Christ in a more passionate way. And so when we talk about social boundaries, there's some things that falls into in our world that's pretty radical. It is a very recent phenomenon that we have social media, that we can socialize while we are isolated in our own homes. And that's a totally different boundary that I will get to at another time. But what I want to talk about is social boundaries when we are, as people, going to work, going to the grocery store, going to eat dinner, deciding what to do on Friday night, deciding who to have over. And I think that, a good company will help a person, and bad company will corrupt a person. These are things that we know. But I am very intentional about the company that we keep. I think every person, every individual that's living a Christ-like life needs to have somebody in their life that they're looking up to, and somebody in their life that they're helping. There needs to be a person in your life that has arrived at or is far ahead of you in a process. In other words, for me, a person who is grandparenting whose grandkids, I look at that picture and I say, I need that in my life. And so I build a relationship with that person and ask them to invest in me. A person who's pastoring and their church is flourishing spiritually, and I look at them and say, I need you in my life. I need to build a friendship with you that you and I can be sharpened as iron sharpens iron. And so we find that person that's investing in us, that's directing us. God blessed me greatly early in ministry, that when I went to church, to go to church, I found a pastor who wanted to invest in me. And when I went to a pastor and said, God's calling me to preach, he invested in me, held me accountable, and walked with me through those days. And we all need to have a person in our life that's doing that. We also need to have a person that we're doing that same thing for, that they're trying to get where we are, or they're trying to go through something we've been through. They're trying to endure a trial that we've endured, and we are carrying them along. When we're socializing, there's a powerful aspect. So that's the reason the Bible, the New Testament, is so talks about breaking bread together, talks about going from house to house, talks about this fellowship of the church that is so powerful. And we need to do that, but we need to do it on purpose, with purpose. And we need to have our social interactions be interactions that are making a difference in our world right around us, and in the world of the people we're encountering. Social boundaries says, I'm going to find that person and be accountable to them. I'm going to find that person and hold them accountable to me. I'm going to just not walk about life haphazardly. I'll never forget when I started riding motorcycles, dirt bikes on our farm. My dad caught me and he put me in the pickup, and we drove around, and he was showing me all the places where I'd been driving, and you could tell. And he said, Joe, you're tearing up way too much grass just driving around. You need to pick a trail and ride it. You're doing too much damage just riding all over the place. And as I try and walk with God, God is walking with me with a purpose. There's supposed to be a path. There's a way. That means I need to have boundaries that keep me on that way. And those boundaries are, I'm not going to follow somebody because they're popular. I'm not going to follow somebody because they're there. I'm not going to lead somebody because they asked. I'm going to purposely say, I'm prayerfully going to consider, I need to find some men in my life like Moses found that would hold his arms up when the trial came. I'm going to need to find some men in my life like David had, that when he had sinned with Bathsheba, the prophet came to him and gave him an illustration and called him out for being the sinner that he was, and said, you are that man, Daniel, or David. And so we need to have that. We need to have boundaries socially, where social life is not an escape from our spiritual journey, but rather a core part of it. Build boundaries in your social life that makes your social life a part of your faith walk. And in doing so, you'll find your faith walk accelerated. greatly. I hope that helps a little bit. I know in my life it has guided me well, and I love to share that information with you. I got it from someone else, and I'm just passing along. I'm Brother Joe. Build healthy boundaries, and I hope I get to see you on Sunday.